AD carries more than the other?
I think it helps Handsomer more than Rekkles, because Rekkles is more of a Tristana player, which is obviously banned now. So I'm not sure what. Maybe Rekkles plays Xayah.
I mean, yeah, Fnatic did play Xayah Rakan
first couple of weeks
when a lot of other teams had already dropped it. Obviously, the last game, well, when you guys played it, it was you and Corki, so a great standout bot lane that managed to do it. Not everyone can pull off the Xayah Rakan the way you did it.
You're too kind, Deficio.
I think it's probably the best
honest.
bot lane performance I have seen ever. Just ever.
Really?
On this patch with Xayah Rakan,
yes.
I agree.
Yeah, that's true. I totally. So, Azir, Galio, Tristana ban, Camille Rise taken away by Fnatic. Where are we looking now?
I think they'll probably ban Cassio at this rate, because I think Cassio is probably the highest priority mid laner. I mean, I don't think there are any other good mid laners.
We haven't seen it.
Oh, is it a stun or Cassio? Okay. I guess they'll pick Cassio soon. I mean, Cassio is really broken in this patch, by the way, with new tier.
So Xayah, first pick. Not a big surprise on their side. Answer if you are Fnatic, because you know Xayah Rakan is coming.
I mean, I think they will probably go like Alistar into Rakan, because it's like a good counter, especially like you can pretty much counter his all-in with Braum too, or anything that all-ins. I think Fnatic should probably go like Ezreal Braum or Ezreal Alistar.
Okay, that would make a lot of sense. They're going to pick the Sion to start it off in the top lane, but have to see if they do decide to go for that Ezreal down towards the bottom side.
Sejuani is still here. We've seen almost every team grab it for themselves early in the draft, and Fnatic will join them. So Rakan obviously is kind of the no-brainer here on Misfits' side. Galio is banned away, so they can't take that one. Anything else specifically we're looking at? Is it a Zac and just match jungle for jungle?
I think actually Kha'Zix is not that bad now that I think about it. Like, even though people say that Sejuani beats Kha'Zix later, I feel like Kha'Zix applies the early game pressure that you can have with Xayah Rakan, and I think they can snowball through early game for this.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh!
That was just locked in instantly.
I think Frogan just joined the stage.
Okay, well that's an Anivia. Wave clear.
I mean...
Selfie played it once.
Please do it, Caps. Every game you play Aurelion Sol, I love you. Just do it. But Anivia, is this something you've noticed a lot of, Kissing?
Actually, no. I mean, I know it's decent in this patch, especially against Sion, because you can like block his ulti with your wall.
Exactly.
So I think it's a pretty good smart draft by Misfits.
I guess it makes sense then, doesn't it? You block it, that's your disengage done. You can re-engage with the Xayah Rakan if you need to, especially if you get ahead in that bottom lane 2v2. It's a Sivir, not an Ezreal for Rekkles, something that he tends towards a little bit more. I remember him saying Ezreal is a bad AD carry.
He didn't like playing it, at least. Sivir, of course, when you run double insane tank frontline, does make sense, but I want to see what they pick support-wise, and if Misfits just ban away the Braum and the Alistar that you highlighted, or if they want to target mid laners against Caps.
I think they'll probably target, I would say they'll target supports, or mids. Yeah.
You got that in, you snuck that in time.
Really good prediction there, Kissing.
I was just thinking, like, even if they have Alistar, Braum doesn't really matter because they'll get priority anyway as Rakan. But I think, I don't know actually what beats Anivia. I don't know this champion too well.
I mean, a lot of the times you just play stuff that roams away from her because she's so slow. Like, it takes her forever to follow Taliyah, Aurelion Sol, these kind of picks, and you just destroy the top lane or bot lane is one option for Fnatic on their side. If you can't play something that can actually kill the Anivia in the 1v1.
Fnatic are going to get rid of the Trundle for that.
Oh, they banned Taliyah, so that makes sense.
Taliyah gets removed. Aurelion Sol can still roam away as well, of course.
Yeah, and I think some of the new items actually can benefit Aurelion Sol quite a lot as well. So I think it is a valuable or viable choice for him, but they can still wait with the mid lane pick and just grab support here, as they already know the bottom lane.
I think right now, actually, now that I think about it, like, Fnatic is pretty much going to full scaling, so they're pretty much going to hope that they can farm with, like, Sivir until they have 3 or 4 items, and then they win the game. Yeah.
Victor is then an option. We get Sivir Victor again. I think that is a little bit weaker in this patch against Banner, but Sivir is one of the champions who can actually try and get some damage on the Banner of Command minion if she gets close enough.
I think,
go ahead, Kissing.
I think right now, by the way, Misfits will probably outdraft Fnatic because their early game is 10 times stronger.
Okay, so it's all about the early game draft.
I mean, for Misfits, yes. They have to win in early with the Shen. Otherwise, once it gets like past 25 minutes, I think Fnatic will win.
Well, they've got the Shen, they've got the Jarvan now for those early ganks as well. A lot of focus down towards that bottom side, we have to think. Fnatic looking for the counter here. Something that roams, maybe the Aurelion Sol is an option.
Is that a Victor for me? As the 2 picks we highlighted for Caps. Either you go Victor and it's all about wave clear and scaling, or you go Aurelion Sol and it's about roaming away and try and snowball lane. But they don't really have a lane that can snowball, so the Victor would make a lot of sense. Instead, all right, more scaling on their side with the Corki.
It's Caps' pocket pick Corki, isn't it? The pick that just pretty much teared me apart when I was playing against him.
I feel like Caps has a lot of pocket picks.
Yes.
I mean, he's just really talented.
130 or so of them. You can just pick whichever champion he wants.
All right, Kissing.
Yeah, tell us who you think won the draft.
Okay, honestly, I think Fnatic can actually stall out the game because it's actually really good for them. I think Misfits picking Shen is the one way to counter Sion, but it's not really a counter because late game, first Sion will keep pushing Shen. And I feel like Shen doesn't really have anything that can actually kill the banner minion, whereas Sion, like, we would kill it faster. But either way, they're both tank versus tank. I think this game, maybe Misfits early game, they have to basically make plays or create plays. If they cannot do that, then they pretty much lose.
And especially around the bottom lane with Xayah, Rakan and the Shen coming down. It's kind of where we're looking. Level 6, that's the first one.
Yeah, I think if they don't make this play or it goes badly, as we've seen before, I think when Maxlore like played Lee Sin and just didn't even kick.
Oh yeah, let's highlight that one again.
Yeah, that was terrible. But yeah, I think Misfits, if they make their plays early game and pretty much snowball the lead, I think they can win the game.
Sencux on the Anivia in the mid lane as well. We'll have to watch Misfits early game. We'll have to see Fnatic's try to scale this one out. Thank you very much for joining us. By the way, Hylissang, any last thoughts you have about this game? Any way you think the game may be decided?
I think it's a hashtag Fnatic win for me, in my opinion. I feel like their draft is just much better later, and I feel like it's not worth to go early game drafts.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Thank you very much for joining us again.
Very
you
much,
can take off your headset now as I hold down your mute button.
And I will talk to fill time instead.
You do that, Deficio.
Well, Hylissang will leave us and we go into the game. Whoa, hang on. 1 second.
Oh, you haven't taken the cables off. Here we go. I will do this. There we are.
The entire crowd can see Hylissang get stuck in a cable and pull back towards the caster desk.
But we are on to the Summoner's Rift, Deficio. Hylissang thinks it's Fnatic favored as we fuse the two halves. I want to talk about this mid lane because Sencux has picked up an Anivia.
Yeah, see, sadly, I don't think in the actual matchup that much is going to happen when you play Anivia versus Corki.
Yeah, it's not the most exciting matchup.
So instead, like, they locked in this Anivia very early on in the draft. They saw the sign, they knew, okay, we got the wall. That's going to be one way to play this game. I think maybe they were expecting Fnatic to either potentially ban Anivia for second phase, or they just want to get it so they could ban away at least the Kassadin that they didn't want to face when they locked it in. Because it was very clearly instant lock by Sencux saying, I'm going to play Anivia here. I don't even know the mid lane matchup just yet, but it's fine as long as we get rid of Kassadin, and in this case, Talia. And Fnatic, because they didn't have any lanes they wanted to really play around early, said we just go scaling. Victor was one choice, Corki was the other one.
Before we get into the real meat of the game, I have a stat that I will present to you quickly. Mikyx and Hylissang are sitting at the top of the table for assists in the EU LCS this split. Hylissang gets 7 or Mikyx gets 2 first.
Oh.
The first to reach that 100 mark. It's a hard job for Hylissang, but
yeah.
You never know.
Definitely want to say odds are in favor of Mickey. He just needs 2 of them. And he's playing Rakan. So it is very
It's pretty
often
easy to get assists on Rakan.
Very often you are the main engage. Bottom lane Hylissang will come down after, of course, being near Broxah for the level 1. We talked in the pick and ban phase a lot about Misfits needing to snowball, especially around bot lane. Shen late game is not the greatest. Xayah Rakan is one lane you can play around, especially at level 6 with a Shen ulti. Obviously Fnatic will know this on their side, and it's on them to just make sure that either you are defensive enough, you will die to the play, or you can try and lane swap out of it. Always the answer against Shen is you just attack him.
Have to see if Broxah does path up towards that. It was a very common tactic for Fnatic, that level 4 gank up to, or 4-minute gank up towards that top lane to try and get sOAZ ahead, and then Broxah would focus on the rest of the map. Maxlore's gone from his blue down towards the bottom side to pick up this Scuttle Crab. No wards yet in either of the jungles. Rekkles is going to get knocked up for hit by Hylissang. The damage coming back out. Mikyx has to jump away. And it's great play from Hylissang. Did hit level 2 first before Rekkles.
Instantly, just with the combo right there from Hylissang.
That's why Alistar's good into Rakan as well, because as soon as he jumps in, you can just knock him up and knock him back. Stop him from being able to do too much work. But Hunsummer and Mickey do have the push in that bottom lane and are trying to get some deep vision off.
So fun fact, when Hylissang came down the lane level 1, a minion died where Rekkles was out of range. So that's why Hylissang got the experience and got level 2 a little bit early. I don't think Mickey expected him to hit level 2 right there when he all-in'd, and got surprised. Nothing was really used on the side of Misfits, other than another potion, but that was a little bit of a surprise level 2 from the Alistar.
Mickey's still gone down the stopwatch tree as well, of course. It's nerfed, goes up to 10 minutes before you're able to use that, so it's a lot slower for him. Rakan is always going to be jumping into the middle of the fray, so trying to keep himself safe. Caps just pushes out the middle lane.
And it can be used for that one big tower dive you're looking for, where you dive in, use everything as a Rakan, and then before you die, you have to stopwatch to reset the aggro. And he clearly thinks that it's worth it to go stopwatch here, despite almost no one else actually taking it at the moment, just for that potential one big play he can make. Let's see what happens, but again, good trade.
Down there's the knock-up from Hylissang. Looking for the stun as well, but Ansama's trading back on towards Rekkles. Mikyx lands the knock onto Hilly. And we'll just back away for the moment.
And I've really been looking forward to this game here, because Fnatic have been fine accepting just play for late game. In some of the games, they've done a good job stalling, while Misfits have been very successful early mid-game for almost the entire split. It's just late game, early late game. You know, when they start hitting that 3-item point, around 30 minutes, you gotta play around another Baron. That's why they've made some big mistakes in teamfights and lost a lot of games. But in this meta here, if you can successfully get ahead early and get that early Baron with the ban of command, you can get really far ahead. So I can definitely see this patch be really good for Misfits, because they have really good Baron setups normally. Another fight brought in, they just keep fighting each other.
Stun on towards Hansama, the ignite onto Rekkles, has to flash with the heal as well. Mikyx trying to get that final bit of damage down. Hansama still has a flash of his own. Hylissang standing around, has his own flashback up. Can he get the trample out? Flash followed from Hylissang. The flash away, one more auto, that's the kill from Hylissang, and Fnatic get first blood.
So we have Xayah winning on farm, but it doesn't matter if Fnatic can then make a big play and actually get a kill, because now it means Rekkles can get to go back to base without losing too much damage on his turret. This was a big one for Fnatic down the bottom lane. We've had 3 big fights already between the dual lanes. Rekkles actually stopped his recall, wanted to try and go for another wave.
Maybe thought that Mikyx would push a little bit too far out, could land a boomerang, which would have been enough.
So they still get to push out and recall for themselves. Like, normally when you get pushed in so much in the bottom lane, it's really hard for you to get a good base, because when you do, the enemy might get a ton of damage on turret, or they get to base first and return to lane before you and keep the advantage in their favor. But because of this fight here, good flash from Rekkles, and then Hylissang knows, just needs cooldowns, just waiting for them. Hansama won't be able to get away. Tremble, flash, smack, and Q in the face. Great first blood. Suddenly it shifts over to Fnatic, and they get to decide when they can recall. So you can look now at the bottom lane how Rekkles and Hylissang will return to the lane by the time this minion wave will do anything. Hansama knows, he just sits, freezes it. It's like, yeah, can't really do anything, or at least just push it.
Maxlore jumps in for the steal here. Broxah can try and turn it around. Mikyx there, the Hex Flash in from Hylissang, the knock away from Maxlore, and now Mikyx's in a world of hurt. Does have the Blast Cone, Maxlore there as well. Maxlore takes it and leaves Mikyx on the other side. It's like, excuse me, Maxlore? We were meant to take that trip together.
Well, successful first blood for Fnatic. Doesn't change the plan for Misfits at all. Get level 6 in your bottom lane, make a play with Shen ulti, try and snowball the game. They will steal away blue buff as well.
Deny it from Cap. Sencux gets it. It's on this Anivia, has the tier first item. Something we're seeing a lot of mid laners do if they want to spam out that mana. And Sencux has been a key point as well for Misfits across the last couple of weeks. Early on in the split, he was very much one of their weaker members. In fact, I think you go as far as say their weakest member. But last week, he didn't die. 21 KDA, out-damaged his opposing laners. Wasn't as bad as he was before.
It was definitely a good week for Sencux. Specifically in this game here, the mana stacking thing you can do now, because you know it's really easy to go for tier into Rod of Ages, into Xerath, and then you get this giant shield in the late game. Xerath, of course, will provide you with some nice CDR. Hylissang trying to be annoying with his little Hex Flash. So I'm definitely expecting their Rod of Ages and Xerath Embrace build from Sencux. And we get a ton of mana on him to just constantly sit and wave clear, spam away, good CDR, and if you ever get close enough to try and kill him, pop the Xerath, giant shield in his face.
I've always wondered with Anivia. You know how when you die you have this egg form, right?
Yes.
Is that Anivia laying an egg and a new Anivia like arises from it? Or is there some sort of like regression into childhood eggness?
I always felt like it was kind of like a phoenix, where instead of going to ashes,
Oh, that makes sense.
she just becomes an egg, and then she gets
It's like a frozen
reborn.
phoenix.
Yeah, she's a frozen phoenix.
Oh, that's cool.
Instead of frozen ashes, because
That's
that would
a
make
frozen-
it.
yeah, frozen ashes makes
would-
no sense.
Makes no sense, right? So
However, a frozen egg makes a lot of sense.
technically,
Biologically, that is perfection to me.
she could have just become like an ice block or something.
That's true.
And then, bam, she's back.
Imagine if she became a wall. She's like blocked up.
She's a wall now.
sOAZ and Alphari trading in the top lane. Not too much going on here.
Caps on his way though.
Has roam up towards this top side. The Caps onto Broxah as well. There's the ignite. He's being caught out as Sencux puts down a flash frost. That's the kill.
Okay. So, when your mid laner goes top lane, do not, as a jungler, invade the enemy jungle on the bottom side. That's not how it works, because your mid laner walked away from the lane, and he walked away from you. Broxah wanted to sneak in and get a ward on the red buff, but Caps wasn't even close.
And now Sencux has double buffs.
That was just a free kill gifted by Broxah. Completely unnecessary. Go with your mid laner, let him stay mid at least, and then you can go in and place the ward if he's there to back you up. Don't do it when your mid laner is leaving the lane to go to the other side of the map.
Got to play with your priority. Got to play.
Look, that was just bad.
Advantage.
That was bad. They got punished. There we go. Misfits got a kill.
And it's nice to even out that early kill that Fnatic got as well, because remember we said Misfits need to win this early game. They needed to play around the level 6 on Alphari, the roam from Maxlore, Hansama and Mikyx hitting that level 6 mark as well. They're the ones moving away from that bottom lane.
Well, they're predicting also that Fnatic will do the same. Look at the minimap. Fnatic, they're also on their way to top lane, so they can keep the Xayah Rakan in the 2v2 lane and try and make a play around it with the Shen ulti very soon. Mikyx needs that level 6 for himself. He got it now. 4 members of Fnatic are top, trying to see if a fight will happen. They're potentially baiting it. Not Jankos, Broxah.
Hansama's going to pop the Feather Storm here to get away. A Quadra Charm from Mikyx as they try and get Hansama to safety. Hylissang with the engage. The Feathers get pulled back, ripped through Fnatic, but Hylissang's going to rip straight through Hansama. He falls forward. It's a 1-for-1 trade. And the roam is coming up from Sencux as well. Mikyx's not wanting to give this one up. Gets the knock up onto sOAZ, looking for the chase. Alphari. Taunt, you can sense it.
Oh no, they didn't get enough here. That was a 1-for-1, but it's important to highlight that Misfits were setting up for a big play, where they would be the ones who started the fight. They would use the Shen ulti aggressively to try and get a couple of kills in the turret. But by Fnatic, having the jungler top and sOAZ staying top lane, they actually get to force the fight. So it becomes a defensive Shen ulti. The gank from Maxlore becomes defensive to try and counter gank. And yes, it's a 1-for-1. But that's good enough for Fnatic, because they knew there was a big play coming against them, and now they get to pause everything. That Shen ulti's on a very long cooldown after being nerfed it so many times.
Hansama did actually use his ultimate slightly early there, got caught coming down from it by the Decimating Smash, which meant he wasn't able to get underneath the tower quickly enough. Misfits still making that Rift Herald play though. And I have been informed that Anivia is officially a Cryo Phoenix, Deficio, so great job knowing that.
Thank you, mate. I had to make up for it after the...
It's that old knowledge coming
one.
back into effect. Now, let's have a look at the state of the game. 12 minutes in, even between these two. Misfits going to get themselves a Rift Herald, and they have that Cloud Drake as well, remember?
Yeah, so Misfits, they still got time. They still have the stronger 2v2 lane they can play around, but it's been slowed down. The first blood in favor of Hylissang, and then Fnatic reading that little swap on top side, forcing an aggressive play, so Misfits have to be defensive with the Shen ult. Again, it buys time for Fnatic. It's all they care about. Legit Fnatic vs GG all over again.
Yeah, you're just waiting for those MVP candidates to scale up. You're waiting for Caps, you're waiting for Rekkles. You put them very high up on your top 5, second and third. Check out the full article at eu.lolesports.com.
Still not a very pretty graphic.
I think you look beautiful, Deficio.
Thank you, mate.
Even though you have no friends, as we discussed in the...
No, I had many friends, that's what...
Oh, yes, sorry, yes. Rift Herald used in the top lane. Rekkles had such a great performance last week. He needs to do that again today on Sivir, because Misfits are trying to put down some pressure.
They're trying to snowball the game, trying to ruin the CSD at 15 stats from Rekkles. Oh. The important stats if you're an AD carry.
Plus 20 last week. Well,
this game.
What it is this game.
He's down 17.
Oh, he's down 17.
But we're not at 15 yet.
Okay. He's got 2 minutes to get 37 CS more than Hansama gets.
There we go, yeah, 1.
More than Hansama, though.
Yeah, but I mean, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, it's true.
There's another wave for him now.
Deficio, we've opened up the top side of the map. That tower's gone down. First tower of the game, 2 Misfits. What happens next?
All right, Shen ulti is almost ready. They can put Xayah Rakan on bottom side to play around the bot lane turret, so they need to keep snowballing the objective to actually get the more map pressure so they can set up for Baron after this. They are going top lane just to match, because right now Fnatic gets to push first with Rekkles, and by going top here there might be a chance of a fight where Shen can ulti in, and there's no tower to protect Fnatic. Rekkles knows this. Broxah is around to try once again to protect his duo lane. Fnatic are trying to read where Misfits want to be aggressive. Hint, hint, Xayah Rakan lane. He's hiding. Will this be another one where Alphari needs to use defensive?
Oh.
Did he just...
Yeah, he stood outside the bush.
But they're still baiting it.
Oh, they're baiting for Broxah. Mikyx gonna face check. There's the Glacial Wisdom. Hylissang, Hex Flash across the wall. The re-engage comes out though because Maxlore's on his way. Knocked back from Hylissang. The chase on Summer onto Hilly. There's the Cataclysm, the cow. Caught in the pit of doom. And Hylissang's gonna get shred down by the Misfits.
Fnatic tried to bait a play here to force the defensive ult. Alphari didn't even use his ult. He knew, wait, they don't want to take this fight. They can't take that fight right now. So when Fnatic had to walk away, realizing they're probably going to lose a member or two, Misfits still kept the Shen ulti. Good play. Both teams, like a lot of mind games here.
Yeah.
Like who's going to make the play now, who's going to force it.
Thing about it is though, Misfits don't actually get too much from that. Yes, you get a push in the top lane. They didn't get tower down to the bot.
That means you can recall now and you can actually swap to the bottom side or the mid with Xayah Rakan, and you can make a play around that lane instead. Shen ulti is what Fnatic were hoping to get out here. Doesn't happen, and instead Hylissang, without a flash, is caught and will die. Sencux, of course, get an easy kill for himself. So Fnatic were trying to make the same play we saw a couple of minutes ago. This time it is in favor of Misfits. They actually go back top again with Xayah Rakan.
Rekkles did get a CS lead at 15 minutes, so he continues to have positive CSD.
Always finds a way.
It's 20 farm in the mid lane for Caps as well, but Sencux has had a very good performance on this Anivia. Double scaling with the Tier Rod of Ages. Here comes the engage with the Valkyrie. Hylissang caught out with the Flash Frost. Sencux, there's the Stand United. Broxah's on the chase. The Crystallize goes down to the egg. The Cryo Phoenix will rise again though, and Hylissang is the burst, the pull, the double charm, the triple charm. Misfits trying to turn this one back around on Fnatic. Maxlore there, the stun. Gonna connect onto sOAZ, and that's another kill for Misfits.
He's alive!
The Cooks is still alive.
He gets to walk away. Rekkles wasn't there for the fight. Fnatic tried to force a play. Sencux used the flash first, and then because of his passive, Shen ult will always make the Shen appear. And suddenly Misfits, quickly with 5 members mid, they turn it around. More kills in their favor. 16 minutes in, they need more turrets, and then they need that Baron at the 20-minute mark. This is the play. Sencux knows that he still sits with passive. Buys enough time with the Shen coming in, and as you guys can see in the minimap, Rekkles is in base. So the moment that Sencux is going to buy time, Misfits get to be 5 members, 2 kills in their favor. Didn't get any damage on the turret just yet.
Caps did flash at the end of that play as well to try and like thread a needle through. Did a huge amount of damage, but it just wasn't enough to get through the Misfits line. Now they're going to have an Ocean Drake as well, alongside the Cloud, with a 2,000 gold lead.
Yeah, it's good, it's good.
It's good, it's good.
We know Anivia is going to hold mid forever. She's never going to leave that mid lane. Suddenly, you can have Hansama make you control the side lane for as long as possible.
She's never going to let you down.
Definitely will
Never going to mess around or desert this mid lane. That's what Sencux wants to do. Stay around here. No big sweepers yet on the side of Misfits. Just sitting on that one on Mikyx. Maxlore's deciding to stay with the warding totem that we've seen a lot more junglers stick with on 8.4. And I think it's important as well to notice the AD carries, because although we talked about Rekkles having a slight CS lead, he's only sitting on the Essence Reaver, whereas you've got Rapid Fire Cannon and Essence Reaver on Hansama now.
Big advantage for Hansama in this game. Also playing a champion that is much better in this mid-game part here, where Rekkles is still waiting for multiple crit items to come in on his side.
Still not got those towers down though yet. And Misfits, you have to remember this team is still in the race for playoffs. They still want to get to at least that 6th spot. They're sitting at 6 and 6 at the moment. They need wins.
It is interesting. They keep putting Xayah topside, despite there not being a tower for them to play around at tier 1. Let's see if they want to go for tier 2 or if they want to push it all the way in and then roam mid and make a play in the mid lane turret. It does give a lot of time for Fnatic though to try and set up a play on their side. No flash.
Engage onto Sencux. Broxah misses the Prism. Smithy, why are you here in EU? Get back to NA. Broxah caught out. Doesn't get the kill on Mikyx, who uses that stopwatch. And Misfits escape.
Oh my god, Fnatic. That was a free kill in the mid lane. That didn't happen though. Misfits gets to walk away. Sencux did have the cleanse for the fight.
Alphari seems to be winning this matchup into sOAZ as well, but Caps and Broxah are here to answer it. And Alphari is not in a good spot. Will flash away, gets underneath the tower. Broxah's going to try and tank it up. Alphari gets a shield, but goes down in the end to Fnatic. Misfits get second tower top lane.
Yeah, Hunt stayed top, as we talked about multiple times, and he gets a tier 2. But that's with Fnatic getting a kill and a bot lane turret. So Fnatic, running the scaling comp, are getting a lot of gold in return. And it's a very close game. Now we're getting close to that Baron. I see in mid lane if they can get any damage on the turret. They can move Hansama down. He wants to get a red buff first. Hylissang trying to stop him. Won't happen. Now mid lane turret. If that goes down, still looking good for Misfits.
50 seconds on the Baron as well. Go back, reset, look for the mid lane tower. Hansama here. Crystallize comes down. The wall of ice splits them up. Hylissang cannot find the appropriate flank. Let's look at where we are as the Baron comes up soon, Deficio.
Yeah, the 2 lanes around the Baron have lost turrets. So that means Misfits can push them very deep in towards Fnatic. And as we've seen, due to the minimum amount of wards, the moment you get river control with just 2 or 3 control wards, then the team will almost never get enough wards down to actually stop you from doing a Baron. It's much easier to clear out everything and deny all vision. So that is exactly what Misfits are looking for, why they're putting all the focus on mid and top in this game. We get the Seraphs now, also from Sencux, so the Giant, well, it's almost there. He needs to, of course, fully stack it, but we have the Archangel. Needs about 180 mana more on this Anivia tier. And then we get a nice Giant Shield.
See Froggen very happy that Anivia has been picked in the LCS.
And it's not Danish mid laner.
Thank you for the tweets.
I respect that.
Sencux just saying, nodding, tipping his hat to Froggen, saying, this one's for you, my good man.
And this is where you see the Anivia legacy be passed on, because when Froggen in Season 2 were winning everything with Anivia, Sencux was a little baby.
Yeah.
Like, he was only, what, 14 years old? Basically a baby?
Yeah, it's basically a child.
Watching Froggen play Anivia, and then a few years later, he gets to do it on stage. He's kind of doing well in this game.
He has 1-0-3, got those 2 items. Caps may have to use the Valkyrie to get away from here. The package, there's the Cataclysm. The Caps is just trying to turn it back around there. He jumps away. Glacial Prism connects on towards Maxlore, knocked up as well. But a re-engage with the Charm. Hansama there. Rekkles gonna kill Mikyx. Sencux there very late. Alphari does not join the fray.
No, because sOAZ followed him and interrupted that ulti from Alphari. Oh, Hansama and the rest of Misfits lose the fight top lane. The one lane they've been committing to all game long. Maxlore stood in the package from Caps and was then stuck in it because he got chain CC'd and they couldn't actually follow up with damage.
Caps waited with the package for so long as well. He baited them in.
And now he got 2 kills on the Corki here. Fnatic, they're slowly getting to late game. Hylissang in the pick and ban phase when he was here, he said at 25 minutes, as long as Fnatic keeps stalling past 25 minutes, they will win with their draft.
However, Misfits have won at least one thing. We'll come back to that in a second afterwards because Caps dodges around for a long time.
So we have the Anivia not here yet. We also know that Shen wants to join with ult, but because Caps bought so much time and then the CC comes down perfectly with a ton of extra damage on Maxlore, Rekkles gets to join before Sencux, and they just kill Mikyx, who's of course very squishy on this Rakan, and suddenly Fnatic get another kill.
It's still Misfits playing up towards the top side. You have to remember that Baron is live now, so they need to be around this.
This is why they're playing around the top side so much and not going bot lane to secure that last tier 1 turret. See how early they can get it. There's still no banner on their side, which would be crucial. And still, I think Sivir is going to be one of the best AD carries at actually killing a banner of command minion.
The victory that I spoke of is Mikyx's. He's got 5 assists, which means he's past the 100 assist mark. The first player in the EU LCS this split to do so. Congratulations, Mikyx. Well done, all that jazz. Still got to win the game. Misfits setting up deep vision. Dragon spawn soon. It's only an ocean, though, so they won't really care too much. Alphari does not have Stand United, but has the teleport if he wants to join this fight. Still no banner on him, as you say. Hansama building up towards that 3rd completed item. A completed Seraphs now on Sencux.
It feels like Misfits need a kill before they can actually go towards the Baron. Otherwise, it's too risky against things like the Xayah, ulti, and his Q in that little Baron pit. We know all the AoE coming from a Corki and a Sivir. It is a very hard draft to play against around a little Baron area, if you look at all the CC on Fnatic's side. So it feels like Misfits needs to create a pick first. They don't have insane hard engage other than Mikyx, so he's the one we're looking to do this. The reason I didn't highlight Maxlore in this one was because for a moment I forgot he was playing Jarvan. So they actually have fine hard engage.
Prison used from Broxah there to try and get that kill. Maxlore clearing out some pink walls. There was a triangle of them, but Misfits are going to be able to force Fnatic on the back foot after Broxah tried to make a play.
Yeah, again, we see them get river control, see them kill the few wards placed by Fnatic. As you can see here, scoreboard from Fnatic's side. All these trinket wards They're just waiting and waiting and waiting for him to be ready again so they can actually place just one ward at a time. It's always one ward at a time at this point in the game. And if there's a control ward, it dies. There's a lot of damage.
A lot of damage back onto Sencux as well. You have to remember, he's got that passive. He can come back alive.
Yeah, and I still want to see if Mikyx and Maxlore together can find the engage. Caps can Valk out of a Jarvan ult. Broxah can dash. What? Rekkles can't really get out other than flash, so he might be the target if they can get the flash away from him.
Does always have the spell shield as well for that initial engage to try and not get 100 to 0. But let's look at it. 1,000 gold between these two teams now. Misfits are in the lead. They had the better early game composition, but Fnatic are scaling here.
Yeah.
Deficio, Fnatic have not lost on the red side at all this split. They have a 100% win record.
High game is over then. You know?
Yeah, it's done, right?
But Misfits are not far enough ahead for what they wanted with this comp. With Xayah, Rakan plus Shen, they wanted to be way further ahead in this game. They're still trying around the Baron.
Setting up vision,
You
pushing
can
wave in
see
the top lane.
how much control they have. They want Fnatic to walk into this jungle, not know exactly what's happening, and then hard engage with Mikyx and Maxlore. Also, the wall from Anivia is amazing when you are sieging around a Baron, because you can just block off these small choke points so effectively. And then you can create a pick, but you need to get some flashes. Wait, Hylissang's flash is on cooldown, so that is one target they can go for. Caps, same, but he can of course Valk. See, Hylissang just jumped over the wall with the Hex deck. Mikyx coming in behind Fnatic. Is he able to find any sort of engage? There we go!
Engage onto Caps. Maxlore there as well with the Cataclysm teleports coming in behind them as Fnatic try and turn this one around. Alphari with the taunt. Broxah from the side, but Sencux is not in this fight yet. Alphari has to flash away. Now they've re-engaged onto sOAZ. Alphari caught off towards the top side. He gets healed. Somehow just gets out alive. Misfits keep their top laner alive for the time being.
Rekkles thought he had the kill. He already turned around. But then suddenly the heal cam coming in and Alphari stayed alive. Still Fnatic. Survived the fight here. Engaged from Mikyx. And there's still flash on the Sivir.
It's on Caps as well, though. He can always Valkyrie away. He can always get out. Felt like Misfits maybe picked the wrong target there.
I think going for Caps was okay if they chain it properly.
Yeah.
If Mikyx forces out the Valk, and then we get the combo from Maxlore with his ult to keep Caps in place. But I'm just going back to see, because I think... I'm sure if Maxlore was in range to EQ first and wait with his ulti.
And while you check that, we see Caps pushing in the bottom lane. Alphari has been able to deal with most of it. Still hasn't got that bot lane tower yet.
So basically, the engage was actually good from Mikyx, but just before Maxlore had EQ'd, just a little bit outside of the screen, towards, I think it was Hylissang. So that was on cooldown, so therefore he had to use ult first, which allowed Caps to Valk out. Had that EQ combo from Jarvan been ready, he would have used that first, knocked up Caps. Caps would have to then Valk out, and then you could ult onto him, and he would be stuck there, and they could actually kill him. But that didn't happen. It was on cooldown just 2 seconds, I believe, longer.
Still see Misfits playing around this Baron. They know that this is what they need to close out this game, but they haven't been able to find it yet. Alphari, no Stand United, they're looking for Hylissang. The flash boss does not connect. Rekkles is going on the hunt as he chases into the river here, but that wall was big. Here's the unstoppable. Alphari joins the fight. sOAZ on the back line now. Have to watch him as he tanks them up. Hylissang's fallen. sOAZ now in the midst of Misfits. 1-for-1 trade, but sOAZ is going to be the second, and Misfits are now going to be able to push back towards that Baron.
It's a 2-for-1 trade here. Mikyx died. And Sama and Misfits, they know they need to win these fights here. They know they need to win them now so they can get a Baron. They can't start it. There's still 2 carries on Fnatic side and a jungler who can steal the Baron. They're actually staying around Fnatic here.
Broxah doesn't have the ult, but look at the damage, the flash in, the knockup, Cataclysm onto Caps, but he gets away with the Valkyrie. Once again, this mid laner for Fnatic comes up huge for them, keeps himself alive. Takes a chunk out of Hans Summer's health bar.
And once again, Maxlore does not manage to get the ulti on Caps when the Valk is on cooldown. So Caps gets out, stays alive, got the flash out of the Jarvan. Fnatic, they keep stalling. Misfits, they keep trying to fight. Let's see the play from before here. I like to start with wall from Sencux to start the fight, and a TP from Alphari actually appears just where the 2 Fnatic carries are standing. And this means now that Fnatic, they don't really have any threat on either Hans Sama or Sencux. And Mikyx plus Alphari was enough to zone away Caps and Rekkles. So that's a 2-for-1 win for Misfits.
You see how much work those walls are doing as well. If those fights continue in the river like that, and Fnatic are split up into 2 halves, that wall is going to keep them separated, make Caps use the Valkyrie aggressively to try and join the fray. Banner has been finished on Alphari for a while now. You've got a banner on sOAZ as well, so those minion waves are going to push. They're answering Alphari with Caps in the bottom lane, who has got a teleport.
Fnatic has swapped over to double blue trinkets on their side. Connor's going to keep it. Yeah, Caps, this is going to take forever, by the way, because your auto attacks deal a lot of magic damage.
It's like, oh, what? I thought I was fed. I'm 3-0. What's going on?
Rita for 59 damage.
Rita. Oh, Misfits going to force the ban because of it. They know that teleport has to come out from Caps. There's control ward in there as well, which Maxlore will clear. Fnatic could look for this. Broxah level 13. Maxlore the same. The steal is on for them. Misfits, this is your win condition. If you lose it, Caps still hasn't teleported. Broxah's still waiting. The charm comes out. It's secured by Maxlore. Hylissang jumps in the midst of the pit. Teleport coming out. Mikyx should fall, but the Stand United shield keeps him alive. Hylissang in the front, but Mikyx goes down. And a great glacial piston's going to land as well onto Hansama. Sencux kills Caps, but 3 kills for Rekkles.
Misfits got the Baron, though. They did a very good job here stopping Broxah from getting in, but then they lose the fight. We talked about this before, Medic, how hard it is to fight against this Fnatic comp in a Baron pit. There's so much AoE, both CC and damage. Rekkles got all the time in the world to pick up all the kills he needed. They got the ban of command on their side, hitting at least on this turret. Misfits here with Sencux
dead. Tank the tower, and here comes Sencux as well. They get 2. The Fnatic were greedy, Deficio.
Let's see what Misfits can do on their side. They still got Baron buff on 2 members. They still have to wait, sadly, for the carry to respawn. Misfits say no, okay, this is it. They just have to get this Baron, CC Broxah, and then secure it and try and get out. That is the call, that is the goal. They go out with Mikyx, stops Broxah from getting into the secure Baron, but now you completely split up. Fnatic are here with all 5 members taking the fight, and no one can get on to Rekkles, and Caps actually flashes forward, trying to kill Sencux. That's why he ends up dying. Good fight from the Anivia, and then Sencux is the one who returns because he stayed alive in that fight. Scores a double kill. Now it's Misfits pushing. They're still trying to get a big enough goal lead and see if they can close the game as fast as possible. They got the minion coming. Mikyx takes a ton of damage.
Rekkles pops the on the hunt as Fnatic look for a re-engage. Baron buff minion still pushing in. Banner has been used already. Here comes the unstoppable onslaught as Fnatic just force Misfits away. The Rabbits running for their lives.
Sencux still didn't die this game. Leandri's completed. We have long fights. That stacks up to 10% extra magic damage very quickly. And he gets a bit of extra damage against the tanks with the burn. So I like this build so far on his side. We look at Void Staff, we look at Death Cap, and you have a ton of AP on this Anivia. We already talked about how valuable that shield can be from the Seraph because you're stacking so much mana.
We are getting to the late game for Fnatic though, and that's what Kasing said, that's what we said was their win condition. If they could get Corki to 3-4 items, if they could get Sivir to 3 or 4 items, they've now got Hylissang with the Righteous Glory as well for the engage, and Minion Dematerializer stacks still remain on Hylissang. They're going to get their first dragon of the game. It's a Mountain 32 minutes in, which means our next one is an Elder. Double banner of commands on Misfits here as well. There's a lot of options for both these teams, but Misfits still don't feel far enough ahead, Deficio, as we get into the early late game or the late mid game, depending on how we want to call it.
If they win the next fight, they win the game. So it doesn't matter how much we talk about Fnatic scaling, because we have one team fight where we currently have a very fed Anivia on 4 items. Hansama deals a lot of damage on his side. Yes, he's slightly behind items compared to Rekkles, but give him enough time, and if he plays it well, he can still carry a fight. So Misfits, no matter how late we go into the game, it's not like that Cup can't win a fight. And at the moment, if Sencux plays it correctly, he can carry it. He can continue the trend from last week of looking much, much better in these team fights. Hylissang is on the side right now. He's spotted by Alphari. Caps his top lane without teleport, so Misfits can keep pushing.
How far will they go? Banner
they don't.
Comes back. Baron fell off as well, Deficio though, so that Baron minion won't be as Banner's minion won't be as strong as it was.
That's fine.
Mini Bob.
They do just take one objective and reset. Caps got a turret topside for himself and his team.
Still no inhibitor down for either team in this game. That Void Staff has been completed. A Knight's Vow on Maxlore as well. The Zeke's banner of command for Mikyx is his combination of Aegis items. And now we're getting towards the portion of the game where Fnatic thrive. We saw them against G2 last week take their team fighting composition and just absolutely demolish G2 in the late game. Took them a while to get there, but when they were there, they were incredibly strong. Alphari can split push TP, stand United back up. sOAZ has his teleport as well.
Also with their Xerath on Sencux side, it's currently giving him plus 91 extra AP. It's of course 3% of your maximum mana. So there's quite a lot of bonus AP coming from that one item as well.
Tasty chunk. He's sitting at 482 AP at the moment.
And the shield, if you use it at full mana, which you don't very often, but if you do, 720
wow.
extra HP. So a lot of value coming from one item, and of course cooldown reduction.
And he bought some control wards as well.
Ah, what a nice guy. See, he's so smart.
So much more important now as well, because you can't rely on those warding triggers. You know, you don't have them. You need control wards, you need sweepers as well.
Hansama got his 4th item. Look at that next big fight. Baron spawning in 2 minutes. We know if Misfits get river control, they can use Anivia wall in these choke points, try and catch out one Fnatic member, force an early flash in the fight, baby. Then engage happens for Mikyx. Fnatic have been stalling and stalling and stalling. They still cannot afford to lose a fight against Misfits. And that's what makes this so interesting for the late game. Hansama versus Rekkles, 2 of the best performing AD carries to split in Europe. And Sencux stepping up recently. A lot of people said in this matchup that he wouldn't be able to do anything against Caps. But then it ended up being Anivia versus Corki and a farm fest, which was actually really good for Sencux and Misfits.
Good roams from Sencux as well early on.
Definitely.
A lot of people doubted me when I predicted that Misfits would win. I think I was actually the only one of us who predicted Misfits would win. Don't want to curse them now, obviously.
We know you always want to be the one who picks that one little
That's quick shot. When he predicted H2K,
hey, it worked.
The shook effect, it did work. Max is pushing in here as well. Sencux has done very well over the last 2 weeks. Still yet to die in his last 3 games. However, Rekkles on the other side has only died, well, he's never died more than once in any game since week 1. So a consistent, strong AD carry yet to die this game as well. 2,000 gold between the 2 teams. That really doesn't matter too much at the moment. We're looking at this Baron. 30 seconds on it. Caps is pushed down. Bot has the teleport. Top lane is pushing in for Misfits as well. Where does the priority lie for these 2 teams?
It's just all about execution on that next fight. Misfits waiting for Baron to spawn, use it to bait Fnatic in and turn, or just finish the Baron, reset and use the banner of command in your favor. Caps is bot lane at the moment. Remember, he's TP 4.5 seconds before he will show up. Actually takes a trade against Alphari that he's losing at the moment.
Not a good trade for Caps at all. Has to back away from it.
Perfect build from Alphari as well against the Corki. He's like, yeah, I don't care at all.
Adaptive Helm so good against those spam damage attacks. Misfits going to start up the Baron. This is it. This is do or die. This is the moment. Great wall. Broxah jumps across it though as he looks to jump into the pick. Glacial Prison comes down. It does hit the stun. Hansama's disengaged. Broxah there. Mikyx off towards the backside. Fnatic pushing forward, but Misfits are trying to answer it. Alphari with a triple taunt. The Cataclysm comes out as well, and Misfits somehow survive. Maxlore gets out. Fnatic alive as well. 5v5. It still remains unkilled thus far in this fight.
Such a close fight here. No flashes used on Fnatic's side. Maxlore and Alphari had to use it on the side of Misfits. Shen ulti on cooldown. It's Fnatic's turn to look towards the Baron. They're starting it. Misfits, they're coming.
Here we go again. Alphari looking for sOAZ. Hansama there as well. The Baron's already fallen, but Misfits are looking for a fight. They want a Barney. They want a Bray. They want to take down Fnatic. And they're diving into the pit. Hansama on Hylissang. Caps. Rekkles still alive. Alphari forced back. But the Misfits are coming in from the side now as Fnatic have to run for the hills. Mikyx might look for a further engage. They get one. But Misfits can't get more, and Fnatic get the Baron.
So 1 kill for Misfits, Baron for Fnatic. It's their turn to use the buffed up minions. They only have 1 banner on their side. Close fights, man. This game is delivering. So fun watching these 2 teams just go at it against each other. Sencux was the one who picked up the kill on his side. Elder Drake is here. Fnatic went back to base, and Caps is sitting top without teleport. Alphari can just sit and match against him. He has TP on his side, so Elder Drake with 3 Drakes on the side of Misfits. That's a big one. This can stop the push from Fnatic.
Definitely.
They just gotta get back in time.
Gonna try and get back. Should be able to get there just about in time because Rekkles retreats to that top side jungle. Almost cresting the 40-minute mark here, Deficio. Misfits' early game was strong. They have this big Anivia as well. And such a good position, but this Baron fight was so strong for Fnatic.
Yeah, Fnatic turn around for the Baron. They're stuck in the Baron pit, but no one can actually go in and kill them because on the side of Misfits here, if they don't get the full engage on the carries, they can't get close enough, and it's just kite back, and Sencux eventually finds a kill for his team. No one else dies, everyone else from Fnatic steps away. Move in. Baron buffed minions. Anivia wall.
I mean, I'm sure that was meant to do something.
Well, yeah, the minions don't walk straight to the turret.
I guess that's true, but they were going to claim it out anyway. Get rid of the Baron-empowered minion. It's so close between these two games. It's been such a clean game as well. Crisp from them. No deaths on Rekkles, no deaths on Sencux either. Both these teams just know exactly how they want to play.
Misfits be unhappy they couldn't secure Baron earlier in the game. It's forced them into a position where they can still win, but they have to massively outplay Fnatic in the next team fight. It is important to note that Shen, if he gets onto a carry, deals quite a lot of damage in the first few seconds of it, and it is enough to force him to capture Rekkles back. So Alphari is by no means useless, and also he can block a ton of auto attacks against 2 carries on the side of Fnatic.
Rekkles is now fully built as well. 5 items complete, as is Caps.
Also do want to highlight that Hylissang did keep his dematerializer. And again, it's just in case he needs to use it on a late game banner of command minion. We're so far into the game that he's probably fine without it, and now he can just kind of use it on whatever he wants. But he did have the option, because it is a great tool if you want to stall. Because you want to kill that banner of command minion, so they have to wait for the next one to be ready, and then you take away a lot of time on the Baron buff. So he had the option in this game.
Misfits going to put some pressure down into this jungle. I've realized, Deficio, I really like banner-empowered minions. Watching them get taken down by these, really hard-hitting AP carries. That's Maxlore.
Oh, Caps.
Goes for Caps. Mikyx gonna get the jump in. Glacier Prison comes out. There's the teleport as well. Broxah with the chase. Hylissang onto Maxlore. Doesn't get the knockup, but the stun is going to connect. Now Sencux has to put down the Glacier Storm. A great crystallize as well. Stops Fnatic in their tracks, and Misfits hold on to the fight. Mikyx in that front line. Summer looking for the chase now. He can sense it. He wants blood, but they cannot go any further.
Great wall right there from Sencux. Broxah was actually baiting it, sitting in that brush, hoping he could one-shot Mikyx, but it is, of course, cleansing in the late game with the spellbook from the Rakan. So I thought, man, this is it. You catch that jungler, kill him, win the game, and Sencux says no, and we see why the Anivia was locked in so early in the draft against this Sion. The game continues. The late game fights, no matter what you see with the composition, still just comes down to that execution. If you see a great stun connect from Sencux, the burst damage in the late game, especially once he gets death cap, how close? He's on 2,000 gold, so he's getting very close. That burst damage on a squishy target, it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Still needs about 1,500.
Oh, they're trying to catch Alphari here. 4 members.
4 guys going to come down towards this bottom side. Alphari is pushed forward, uses the taunt to try and get away. The prison flashed away from. Here comes Hylissang for the knockup though. Key's refuge comes down as Alphari tries to keep himself alive. The decimating smash will hit him in the face, but Fnatic maybe have stayed too long as Broxah's jump forward. Here comes the Cataclysm, locks the caged animal in the midst of it all. A great crystallize as well. And Fnatic lose a man as they try to go for the engage.
They thought they could just take down the Shen fast enough, but Alphari did everything could still out. They're gonna kill sOAZ as well.
They're gonna lose 2. Misfits capitalize and collapse on Fnatic, who went for a daring play in the bottom lane.
So we got 35 seconds on Broxah, 50 seconds on sOAZ. All of Misfits still alive. They're pushing straight for that base. We know Alphari's TP is available. He can just use it to join the team again. No banner available on the Shen side, but Mikyx just used his. Going for that inhib. They got a giant wave top. The Rekkles will kill, but that means he's not here defending bottom side.
Should at least be an inhibitor here for Misfits. 14 seconds on Broxah, 30 on sOAZ. No teleport on sOAZ either when he comes back up. Pushing in with Bob, or Mini Bob, who decided to call him. Inhibitor tower will go down. You can see Hylissang trying to position off towards the side. He's actually going to get behind Misfits here. The inhibitor goes down, but another great wall from Sencux. Glacial Prism hits, cleanse. Misfits get away.
Everyone get to walk away. Misfits gets an inhib. Nice little win for them. Sadly, this late in the game, only one wave of super minions. It's pretty easy to take down. Fnatic tried to go for the pick here. 4 members against Alphari, but he flashed out the first stun, gets under the turret and just stays alive for as long as possible, denying as many autos as he can, and then the taunt is ready. And Broxah and the rest of Fnatic, of course, after not killing the Shen, went too deep. And sOAZ also ends up dying after a good chase. Stun connects.
Great stun from Sencux.
Slowed down forever, never getting out.
That front line that Fnatic wanted to play around, we said they had 3 tanks in the front, and they had these 2 damage dealers in the back line. Well, if your front line dies early on, you can't really kite back that effectively.
Baron number 3 about to spawn. They have a lot of damage on Fnatic's side to take it down, but all of Misfits, they're around, they know, they already blew trinket, they're coming now. Hylissang is behind.
Hylissang's trying to pull a Mikyx, trying to disengage this fight. Mikyx jumps in. Mikyx steals the Baron somehow! How the hell did that happen? Misfits get the Baron. They're going to get out as well because Fnatic are just shocked by Mikyx. What an absolute god.
Now Misfits, they get to push. They already got the bot inhib down. They just need to take down another turret in mid, get another inhib, and suddenly Fnatic are pushed so far back. The last 2 fights, first one was Fnatic chasing on the turret and losing the front line, and then now we didn't even get a big fight. It just ended up being a Baron steal by support.
I do not understand League of Legends.
That
Another
work,
great
sOAZ.
wall onto sOAZ. Such a smart pick of this Anivia. Minions pushing in that bot wave, of course. There is Bob as well helping.
Dematerializer.
Materialize.
It was saved. The last stack, 45 minutes in.
And Summer's going to say, okay, Bob might have not been able to do the job. I might be able to do it myself. Broxah jumps in, but that's only onto Alphari. Going to chunk him down a little bit. Mikyx with the engage. Jumps back out. Hylissang double knockup. That's on Summer as well, but he's in the front line now. Maxlore needs to get away. EQ combo. And Fnatic will hold on to their inhibitor for the moment, but another banner comes out.
Another thing about this Anivia wall is Sencux keeps trying to deny Rekkles entrance to the fight because Sivir has to walk around the wall every single time. So Misfits keep being able to just kite back. And they're keeping this game so even.
You have to remember, second Elder's going to come up. It was buffed on this patch. You get a ton more damage out of it, lasts for longer, and you get extra bonuses from your elemental. But this is what we want to be watching. It's Mikyx.
Dives in, Smite comes down at
46
HP. Gets it.
Calculated.
That was so close, but yes, the Elder Drake with the buff supposed to be there. If you get 2 Elder Drakes, surely you have to win the game. They got 3 Drakes on their side. They have to secure this one. Fnatic knows it. We're gonna get maybe the final fight around it.
Here they go, they don't secure it. Fnatic get the Drake for themselves. So as they're in the front line, he goes into the wall, face plants. And that means he's gonna fall. Broxah tries to get away as well, but the prison does not connect. Misfits will push forward onto Fnatic here. Alphari's gonna chase Broxah down towards the bottom side. Should they go for Hylissang instead? There's the standing on him. Onto Sencux. Look at the damage from him, but Sencux flashes away. They'll catch out Hylissang. He's going to pay for it. Eventually, he will fall.
They're still chasing Rekkles. Let's see if they can kill him. If they can win the game.
Alphari and Maxlore on towards Rekkles, but Caps is here from the side as well. Misfits might just want to end the game anyway. Have to remember they've got everyone up.
Sencux was too low. He's back in base. Sencux is in base. He was way too low after the fight. There's Elder Drake on the side of Fnatic. Misfits are trying here. They got super minions coming in. They want to finish, but then Anivia is not here. It's only 4 members.
She's on her way from...
Takes a sweet ass time. Get moving, Sencux.
She can't flap any quicker, man. They will get there.
Oh, they're still waiting. They're still waiting.
But they've got their caster buff minions.
Yeah, sOAZ is alive in 10 seconds. They're trying now. They got the
Caps had summer flashes. Cleanse away. Featherstorm. One more auto. That's enough. And Caps is down. And Misfits can look to close out the game because Sencux has finally flapped his way down the mid lane. Rekkles in the midst flashes away. Can do a lot of work here. The wall comes down, but Rekkles still alive. Charm still doesn't connect. Mikyx eventually gets on towards that back line. Misfits are falling to pieces here. Rekkles still alive. 1-for-1 trade.
They got
the
one
Nexus
turret.
tower goes down. Sencux alive. And Summer as well, but here comes the cow, and he is angry as he jumps straight onto the line. The shutdown on Summer. Sencux caught out as well. Misfits fall apart towards Fnatic.
Rekkles did everything perfect right there. He dodged all the CC. He stayed alive, and he dealt enough damage to force Misfits back. They couldn't finish the game. I can't believe we're getting to 50 minutes now of just back and forth fights. Where, oh, now it's Misfits' turn, then it's Fnatic's turn, and they keep trading objectives. We had a support stealing Baron, and then after Hansama makes the big play and kills Caps. Look at this play here. Crit's coming in, flashes forward, takes him down on the turret. Surely, game is over because good old Sencux, he's moved from base. He's finally here. And then, look at Rekkles in this fight. Flashes out, then knows Mikyx will try and jump him with the Rakan, steps out, and then deals enough damage in return. Spell shields the charm, and he stays alive, secures a kill for his team. And now our Misfits have 4 members. They can't finish because there's still a full HP late game Sivir, who then can deal enough damage in return to force Misfits back.
Getting that Elder Drake helped out a lot. Rekkles did so much more damage because of it. That's why we highlight him as the MVP candidate that he is.
But thank you also to Misfits for just showing up in the late game. Yes, it's still back and forth, but this is a team who's been dropping games around the 30-minute mark so often. We are getting into this point where they've been so close in these fights here. They have a comp that's harder to execute in the late game. A lot of it comes down to Sencux and the way he's playing Anivia in these fights. Great game on his side, and Misfits can still just win one fight, and surely that's going to give them the game.
Let's go for it, Deficio. Hansama, 6 items, Trinity Force there now as well. Sencux still has the boots, but he's very big on this Anivia. 5 items on Caps, 5 items on Rekkles, full builds all round. No second banner of command on Fnatic yet, so Tut Fnatic should get the second banner of command.
Love the change of tone right there.
It's important.
That is a great casting.
You have to big up people when they do good things, and when they do bad things, you respectfully tut at them. But they have got a ZZ Rot, so that's
yeah. This is about winning a fight now, not about putting banner on a minion anymore. It's not going to be that effective for you. Get better items for team fighting. Like, I like the Righteous Glory on Hylissang's side.
No, it's true. That's true. I like that as well.
Okay, let's see. Misfits, Baron, 55 seconds. Remember Fnatic and Misfits both had 1 Elder Drake each, so the next one is even bigger.
We missed a little really cool bit of action here, right? So Rekkles sitting on Berserker Greaves, right? Guess what he had a few minutes?
Yes, he sold it for ZZ Rod, placed it, then sold it for Banner of Command, put the Banner of Command on a minion, sold that one as well, and bought boots.
That's crazy! That's okay, you didn't say it in the right way. People didn't react.
Well, it was just used to defend, so...
It's so cool, though.
Yeah, but it wasn't like mind-blowing
Look at how much gold he had because of it.
Yes, he has almost 700 CS.
It's amazing.
You're right.
Good stuff, Rekkles.
He did it.
Positive reinforcement.
The ZZ Rod is currently defending mid, and then it dies to 1-shot.
Eventually. Well, 5 shots, but still. Misfits are going to push down the mid lane here. Look at those damage stats. Everyone coming up big in this game. Support's very even. Always important to note that.
Oh, yes. Which support will win the damage fight?
Baron up in a minute.
They're starting it instantly. Fnatic. sOAZ is not there yet. He still needs to either TP.
Oh, holy hell, that shreds
seconds.
quickly. It's down to 5,000 already. The Crystallize comes out. Broxah trying to get in the pit, but he just can't get away from Mikyx. Hansama takes a chunk. Mikyx flashes into the pit, jumps away. Hylissang with the engage. There's the unstoppable onslaught as well from sOAZ. Fnatic trying to find the fight, but they've lost the Baron already. Flash away. Glacial Prism there as well. Fnatic pushing forward, but Misfits are able to defend. They can push in that top wave as well, Deficio.
They got the wave. They got the Bannon. Bannon. Yeah, let's call it the Bannon now.
So
it's going.
Fnatic aren't done yet. They want a fight. They're not giving this one up easily. Misfits 5-man stack. Crystallize comes down. Remember, no ult for sOAZ here either.
They got the minions though. Hylissang.
Smash. Caps has distracted the minions.
He was losing the fight against the minion as well.
Easily distractible are minions.
But
like hamsters.
All of Misfits dancing around. Hylissang behind them again together with Caps. Can he find the engage?
Righteous Glory available for him.
No ulti on Broxah though, so that is one big ulti down. Same thing for Maxlore actually. Both junglers without ultis if the fight breaks out.
sOAZ does have his though. Mid lane is going to push in slowly for Misfits. That ZZ Rot down. Hylissang. Sense he's got a good position here. Mikyx waiting for the quick.
Oh, it's so tense, man. Who's going to engage?
This is it. This fight decides the game.
Hylissang, he wants to find his
on the hunt. Rekkles says, let's go. And Fnatic try and get the engage. The Taunt Hansama in the backline, but Rekkles is down. And Misfits' hopes are alive because Fnatic collapse. The Cataclysm down towards the bottom side. sOAZ caught out by Hansama and Alphari.
That should be
the Taunt misses, but that should be it as Alphari brings down the hammer on them. Broxah dies as well. Misfits win the fight.
The rest of Fnatic are trying to go back and defend, but Caps is in the mid lane killing the minion wave, trying to stop Misfits from ending.
Here comes Alphari, just trying to stop Caps from getting away Yeah, Cap's just clearing out as many waves as possible.
He just wants to kill the minions, but he still needs to get out. Nope,
Gets
he can't.
caught out by
He's
Maxlore.
gone.
He is down. Let's look at timers. 50 seconds sOAZ, 50 seconds Broxah.
They got it,
70 seconds. Rekkles is up in 40, but it's just not soon enough for Fnatic.
They just had to win that last fight here from Misfits. They killed Rekkles instantly. Both summoners still available on the Sivir, but he dropped. He got CC'd, and Misfits will win the game.
The team with 3 birds are going to flap their way to victory. Hylissang falls. There's the ace for Misfits as they take down the #1 team in Fnatic and keep their road to playoffs well and truly alive.
Such a good game. Match of the week for a reason.
Oh, baby.
Misfits plays well in the late game. Rekkles looks destroyed, knowing that him dying in the last fight with summoners and everything gave the edge over to Misfits. But man, they had to execute a tough late game comp. Built around an Anivia. Sencux executed it. 8-1-0. We gotta watch that last fight again for sure. And 2-0 head-to-head for Misfits, because they were the ones who gave Fnatic a loss early in the split, and now they're the ones ending Fnatic's winning streak.
They were lost before the winning streak started, and they are the loss to close it out. Misfits come up
The
huge.
circle of life.
You're going to start singing for us as well, Deficio.
My voice is dead.
So is mine after that game. But what a game it was. Fnatic shouldn't feel too dismayed. They played well. Maybe those late game fights weren't as well coordinated as they could have been. They seem to be getting split up a little bit by Misfits.
Misfits proving Xayah wrong.
Oh, proving me right!
That late game
I was the only one!
easy for Fnatic, but yes, you get that one. Nice humble brag.
Thank you, thank you. The amount that you humble brag as well. We're going to have another look at that last replay in just a second, Deficio, because it definitely came down to these final fights, really deciding the game.
Yes.
There's so many times that not much really happened in the fight.
We'll just have to see what happened with Rekkles. That was the big one in favor of Misfits. That's where they won the game, when they killed the Sivir. So that is going to be what we just have to look at in this replay.
And we definitely will, because there were many fights building up to this where it was like, one person dies, no one dies, the wall comes out and stops the engage, Misfits get a Baron, Fnatic get a Baron, you never really knew who was actually ahead at times, because it felt like Misfits shouldn't have been.
But it's just execution, man. It was execution, and Misfits played the fights so well in the late game, and that's why we're sitting here now with Misfits picking up a crucial, crucial win when it comes to the playoff race, because we looked at the schedules and we were like, okay, let's just count all the games against G2 and Fnatic as losses for the other 8 teams and say, okay, how many other games do they have to win? What kind of teams are they playing? And Misfits' schedule is not too scary.
No.
And Fnatic was one of the ones we counted as a loss. That's now a win.
They've got H2K, Splice, Giants, Rocket, and Unicorns of Love.
I mean, that's probably at least 3 wins for Misfits.
And they're already at 7 points, so 3 wins takes them to 10. That's where we think...
They're chasing top 2 right now. Yeah. They won their bye week straight to the semi-final.
Especially after beating Fnatic. We are going to have another look at that replay, so let's have just a gander at how this final team fight went down.
All right, look at Rekkles on the Sivir. What happens to him? Everything is ready. Oh, he steps
so
in to
good.
try and kill Ansama. He tunnel visions on the AD carry, and Alphari just taunts him and kills him. Was very split up from Fnatic.
Great crystallize again from Sencux to split up that fight. He had a barnstormer of a game, you have to say. That Anivia, a very good pick for him. We were worried that against Caps he would struggle, but you can see Rekkles knows that it was not a mistake that he should be making at that point in the game.
Tough fight to play as well when you have front line and double AD carry and you end up splitting it all up. So suddenly you don't have a front line.
That's what Misfits did so well.
They stayed together.
We said you need this front line. You need 3 people in front of Sivir and Corki to do the damage. It didn't work for Match of the Week. Our analysts have narrowed it down to Sencux, Mikyx. Oh, that Baron steal. I almost forgot about that. And Alphari in for the fight for player of the game. Be sure to give us your favorite at LOL eSports on Twitter. As a support main who can't play Rakan at all, I have to give it to Mikyx. That was just 46 HP. He jumps in, he steals it. Oh, it's amazing. We'll soon talk to Sencux and Mikyx. And after that, Gilius is joining us for the EU LCS post-game lobby. Be sure to stick around and see who he thinks is the best jungler in Europe. I wonder who that might be. You think it's going to be you?
Hey, that Garen.
Going to send it over to Rekkles and hear what Sencux and Mikyx have to say after taking down the league leaders, Fnatic.
Deficio's Garen is awful, for the record, before we get into this. Welcome, gentlemen. I'm actually super stunned. Coming into this week, I'll be honest, I was a doubter. I did not predict you, I predicted Fnatic, and you absolutely proved me wrong. How does it feel to take them down today?
Feels really great. It's like we had some pretty bad weeks, so like 2-3 weeks where we almost got perfect game by Rocket. We lost to Giants, so I know I listened to the Euphoria cast and I heard you doubt, but I feel like we are getting back to form now, and I feel like we're doing better and better for every week.
And it feels like a lot of really clutch moments came in. Mickey, I don't think you're gonna be surprised. Rakan, Baron steal. Up until you stole that Baron, I thought you were leaping into your death. What was going through your head when you leaped into that pit?
Well, mostly I just wanted to CC their carries, I guess. But I accidentally just ran through the Nash with my ult up, so I think my ult stole it. And yeah, that was pretty interesting.
You heard Medic talk, 46 HP, very clutch to come through. It was kind of back and forth. Sencux, you picked up a new pick. The Anivia, not something that we've seen a whole ton. How did it kind of interact with the Fnatic team comp? What was the thought process behind it?
I'm not going to give away too much because it's a new pick, but I mean, as people can see, the tier buffs are pretty strong on this patch. Made a big difference. I think Anivia as a pick right now is a decent champ, and it just suited the team comp we had, and it suited the playstyle that we've had so far, and that's why I chose to pick it up. Also, it's something that I used to play a lot back in the early seasons, so yeah.
Well, look good for you, man. Now, my question for you, Mickey, is that Banner Command is kind of the big topic right now, right? People see that it's clearly very, very strong. Was this something you guys were very prepared for and came with strategies to kind of counteract this sort of meta, or were you not too worried about it?
Well, in scrims, we realized that it's pretty OP. So if you like get Nash, you can get at least 1 or 2 towers for free if you just protect the minion. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, I like it. That's pretty simple and straightforward. Now, Sencux, back to you. More kind of on a personal note, a lot of people have put you as a middle of the pack mid laner for a long time. I feel like we have this conversation once a split.
Yeah, we had this last
we've had
time.
this literally.
I think I played Soul, and then you were asking me.
Yeah, and then you popped off. So so now I'm asking, when do we find the consistency, man? Because sometimes you have these games like this Anivia game where you absolutely crush people, and then sometimes you have games where you're just not impactful. So for you, where do you find that consistency? How do you get that level of Sencux that we saw today in every single game?
I feel people were right saying that I didn't perform so well the first couple of weeks. I think the biggest enemy for me this split has been myself. I think on stage I haven't been performing like I should have, but I feel like these past 2 or 3 weeks I've been doing a lot better. And sure, people saying I'm not the most shiny player, but League of Legends is not a game right now where it's about shining. And obviously there's a lot of good mid laners in Europe, but I'm still confident now in my ability.
And I mean, man, it is good to hear. Now, we're about to head over to the post-game lobby. Before we do, Mikyx, you have been voted player of the game.
That's right.
Half the vote, 50%. You steal a Baron with Rakan, player of the game, guaranteed. Thank you, gentlemen, both so much for joining me. Congrats again on taking down Fnatic. For now, though, we are going to send it over to the post-game lobby with Deficio, Amazing, Gilius, and Shocks.